Aabid Surti is a painter, writer, cartoonist. He has written over 50 books, drawn a comic strip for more than 20 years. But his passion remains painting. That's where his liveliest experiments have been. His latest show was of Sufi paintings. What are Sufi paintings?
So actually, this is based on the theory of Sufism. And Sufis were Muslim mystics. Like we have Tantrics, and in Christianity they have Christian mystics. So these are the mystics. And from childhood I was interested in mysticism. So I had developed a taste for that, and I kept on reading books, literature on Sufism. And then I started painting. But first I tried with the miniatures. And they were exhibited here in Bombay and Delhi, and they were known as Sufi miniatures. Now for the first time I'm using a bigger canvas, and I'm getting a different impact.
But you mean you are using the same paintings and enlarging them?
No, not the same painting. The theme is same. The subject is same, but the canvases are different.
Over these years of experiment, you've not tried to evolve a style of your own. Why is that?
Because you see, I keep on changing. I like experiments, something different, something new. So every time when I work, you see, I change the colors, I change the patterns of the colors, I change the canvases. You see, sometimes I work on paper, sometimes on canvas, sometimes on wood. There are so many different mediums and so different techniques. You see. So I have to experiment. You see. If I work in a typical same style, then it becomes a stylized work, which I don't want to be branded, patent as that this is Aabid. Like most of the painters prefer that.
I see. So you see constant change as an advantage rather than a disadvantage, do you?
Yes, disadvantage is there. That is, people don't recognize you. So when they see a painting, my painting, they can't, immediately identify that this is Aabid's painting. You see. So this is the disadvantage. But the advantage is that I feel very happy to change. Change is a sign of life. I take it like that.
As you say, change is the very essence of your life. Then how is it that you have stuck to your comic strip for so many years? 20 years, is it?
You see, when I started, I never thought it was going to run for 20 years. I just had an idea that it will run for 6 months or a year. And I started it.
When and how was your comic character Dabbuji born?
It was assignment from a magazine, first from a Gujarati magazine that I started for them. When I started, I was in very badly need of money, and I thought it will run, but it didn't click. So it was stopped from there. And then I got the assignment from this one Hindi weekly. For them I started, and it picked up so fast and it became so popular that still I am amazed that what is the secret of its success.
Did you evolve a kind of concept of this central character?
My concept is of a middle class. I wanted to capture the humor, the tragedies, the satires, the problems of this middle class people. How they live, how they enjoy the family life, how they behave with their friends, neighbors. So this character, you see, that's why he keeps on poking his nose in his neighbors, in his office, wherever he goes. He just tries to poke his nose, and sometimes he is successful in dodging others, sometimes he himself is better. So like that, this character, there is no fixed characterization.
Even his viewpoint changes. Is he at one time an observer, at another time a subject?
Yes, precisely. Like if you have seen Lakshman's character, common man, very popular one. So that character has got a precise approach to the viewers, to the readers. Mine is not something like that. Mine is very flexible. It can adjust anywhere, any society, any group.
How does the idea for each comic strip come to you?
Ideas I get from life only. See, we have two people are sitting together, so I just keep on observing them. When two people are talking, I go to the parties, meetings and restaurants. See, I keep on observing people. So from them, naturally the ideas come.
How do you normally work at these ideas? Do they come to you one at a time or in a bunch?
People think that I sit every week to get an idea, and then I make a comic strip. But it's not that. You see, I work, I get the idea, I keep on getting the ideas. I keep them noting down in my diary. And when the time comes to work, I just sit and at a stretch I work about for 4 months to 6 months ideas together.
Do you manage to keep your freshness alive, do you think, or do you become mechanical at times?
Well, I feel that I have become mechanical, but the readers feel that they are as fresh as it was introduced 20 years back.
Actually, I would like to know something more about the readership response to your cartoon strip.
It's a response you get through letters, through telephone calls, and through surveys. So once our editor did the survey, that which is the most popular column in the magazine. So the maximum votes were given to this Dabbuji feature. One more thing, wherever I go, in parties, in functions, people talk about this character. People address if somebody makes a mistake or somebody, fumbles somewhere, you see. People characterize him as Dabbuji. They call him Dabbuji. So Dabbuji has become a symbol in the day-to-day life society. Many friends who meet me, you see, they like to repeat the same jokes to me also, you see. When they meet, they'll say, hey, this was the joke in the last week. You see, it was one of the best jokes, like that. They talk to me. But and sometimes they come and ask me also, do you know that this is the best joke? I said, which one is that? Because I had forgotten, because I give for 6 months work in advance, so I don't know which one has appeared. So once what happened, a friend of mine came and told me a joke. He said, Aabid, listen, I'm telling you the best joke. He told me the joke. I said, look, this is one of the finest joke and I'm going to use it in Dabbuji. So he said, it has appeared this week only.
In Dabbuji.
So sometimes I forget also what I have used.
Is this the latest strip that you are working on?
Yes. This is for Holi issue, and I have to do some special ideas on such occasions. Like Holi, I have to use color, I have to use that character, I have to mix him with the colorful society, you see, and the colorful festival.
What's happening here?
Here you see a boy, he is infusing color into the elephant, you see. So he is pumping it, and the color goes through the tail, passes through the whole system, and comes out through the trunk. And it falls on the character Dabbuji. So it's an absurd idea, but children enjoy such ideas.
Apart from Dabbuji, I think you've evolved a whole lot of other comic characters. Can you tell us something about them?
Yes, those are the comic characters, especially designed for comics. Those characters are Bahadur, Inspector Azad, Inspector Vikram, Shuja. These are all my characters, but I am there as a visualizer, there as a writer. I don't draw. I don't paint like those comic strip artists. They draw and paint. I just visualize them. I create the stories, pass over to the artist. Now artist, whoever he may be, it could be any artist. So I have to discuss, I have to inform him that look, this is the character, this type of nose he has, this type of ears he has. The total visuals I give him. Sometimes he doesn't follow, so I just scribble it on the paper and I pass it over to him. So like that a team works. But in this team, the writer is the most important because he is the visualizer. He has visualized the character, like the character of Tarzan. Edgar Rice Burroughs visualized it. Like the character of Phantom, Lee Falk visualized it. So like Disney's Mickey Mouse, Disney visualized it. Now there are so many artists working on Disney's Mickey Mouse. So many writers also working for Disney Studios. But his name remains intact, you see. It's the immortal name. But in India, you see, once you stop writing it, somebody else moves in and takes over the whole thing.
Yes.
So the original writer is forgotten, original visualizer is forgotten.
The visualizer is forgotten, but you said that you continue writing for these books.
Most of these characters I wrote for a couple of years, but then I had some differences with these people, so I had to walk out.
So you no longer do it writing for them?
No, now I have stopped. I'm just doing this Dabbuji. This is the only feature, and you know it, my nature, that I can't keep on doing the same thing again and again.
I think you actually enjoy projecting yourself as a cartoon figure. Do you?
Well, I don't think so. You see, what has happened that film Aabid made on me has projected a different image. Another thing is that I can laugh at myself also. So when people crack jokes at me, I take it lightly. I enjoy the jokes. So the people think that I am myself is a sort of a living cartoon character.
I think you've encouraged this feeling also because there's a book by your son.
Yes, precisely. Because this is an Indian society, you see. If a son cracks a joke at father, first of all he won't dare to crack the joke, you see, because he will be beaten immediately or he will be slapped. In my family, you see, my children, they crack jokes at me, I crack a joke at them, and like that we have a friendly family. So he was encouraged to collect all those anecdotes, table talks, jokes, and he got it published. So that book is called Mere Papa Aabid Surti and Dabbuji. I think you're talking about that book, isn't it?
That is right, that is right. But you're definitely linked with Dabbuji. Certainly he seems to see you in a certain aspect of your personality as a cartoon character.
Yes, that is partly true, because my son sometimes he points that some of the antics of my cartoon characters are obviously visible in me. My day-to-day behavior, he sees that you are just behaving like your cartoon character. So maybe you are feeling, or people are feeling because of that also.
Yes, there certainly is a connection. Coming to your writing, Aabid, you have been a very prolific writer. What languages have you written in?
Since my mother tongue is Gujarati, I started writing in Gujarati. My first novel, which appeared in 1963 or 64, was partly biographical and partly fiction. That, I mean, basically I'm not a writer. Basically, I mean, I'm not a cartoonist either. I'm a painter, a very serious painter, but circumstances were such that I had to pick up writing, I had to pick up cartooning also. Now regarding writing, I never thought of writing anything, but something happened in my life, that something which jilted me totally, and I started writing. And I went on writing pages after pages, and when I finished it, totally the pages were about 400 to 500. Now I did not know what to do with those pages. Fortunately, a Raddi wala, you see, person who sells Raddi in the street, he was my next door neighbor at that time. So he saw those pages, he read a few, glanced through them, and then he took me to a publisher. That publisher was supposed to be one of the best in Gujarati. So the manuscript was given to him, the publisher read it, and he was so happy that the book was published, and it became a sensational book of that time, that means 60s. Even people had tried to ban it, but fortunately it was not, and the title of that book was Tutela Farishta in Gujarati, and in Hindi it has come as Tute Hue Farishte.
Do you feel this demand from the market presses on you, it forces the pace, or do you feel entirely satisfied with the writing you're doing?
So each type of writing is a challenge to me. I take it as a challenge, you see. I don't consider that I should write for a particular class, like most of the so-called intellectuals, you see. They think that they are writing for a particular class, which I don't believe it, you see. To me, even a commoner is important. So I write for the commoner also. I write for the masses also. I write for children. I enjoy writing for children. The most I enjoy is writing for children. So it's a challenge to me, you see. And sometimes it's when people also come. They say, come on Aabid, we want some mystery story. So I write mystery for them. To me it's a challenge, you see. If other film writers, if they can write a commercial subject, why can't I write it? And if some intellectual can give a super intellectual book, why can't I write that also? So I write everything.
Coming back to your painting, Aabid, earlier you were talking about your series of Sufi paintings, but you have been involved in other experiments as well. Do tell us something about them.
Right, I've done so many series of paintings, and if I don't make a mistake, then first series was on this rhythm and color. That I had done some sketches at Mathura and Vrindavan. I had stayed there for 2 months. I had observed and seen many temples, devotees, dancing, music, and tried to convert that feeling which I had there into lines and color. So that series was labeled as Rhythm and Color.
Was that exhibited?
That was exhibited here in Bombay, and it was done with a different technique of, at that time I think this felt pen had come out in the market for the first time. So that complete series was done with the felt pen, and that was the first exhibition with felt pen. Then second series I had done was on fishes. From childhood I have been interested in this underwater life. So I used to go to this aquarium, sketch fishes, bring them to the studio and create some different compositions out of them. So that was the whole series.
You haven't talked about your series on the futuristic man.
Yeah, I think the painting is quite close by and you can see it. This concept of futuristic man is something, you see, today the human beings are what we are, you see. The same concept and same form of the human being may not be there in the future. What I mean is, you see, the many of the body parts which will be replaced by plastic or by metal, like plastic hearts. They are still experimenting. If it succeeds, then people will be having plastic hearts. Then there are many different types of metal tubes and metal fittings inside. So the personality of man will not be the same as we have it now. So that I wanted to project in my painting, and I started that series with the intention of having an exhibition. But fortunately or unfortunately, I started selling these paintings one after the another. Now only 2 have remained, and so I could not have the exhibition.
Years ago, I remember reading about your painting your entire room from the inside. What was that, a stunt or an experiment?
During the time of crisis, I was passing through the financial crisis. I did not have any job, I did not have any work, and I was just sitting idle in the house. So I thought that I better do something sitting in the house, you see. So I had some cans of color, some brushes, so I started painting. I had some rough idea that what I'm going to do in my house. I wanted to create a painting, a huge painting in which I could live. So far I was living with my paintings. Now I wanted to live within the painting. What the concept is precisely is that painting, suppose a man, I want to draw a man. So the back is on the wall, I draw it on the wall. The rest of the body, legs stretch, that is on the floor. So the floor and the wall, they become part. Like that the painting went on growing and growing, and it went on the ceiling, it went on the fan, it went on the furnitures. Everything was covered from floor to ceiling. Then slowly started moving towards the door. Now the problem was with my landlord. He was afraid that I might start painting the whole building. So he asked me very sarcastically, "Aabid, tell me how far this painting is going to move." I said, "It is from the staircase, it is going to go down." So he said very wittily that, "Okay, if you want to take it to the graveyard, I am going to finance it." That was a very funny and witty comment.
What amazes me is how you structure your time. How exactly do you divide up your time between painting, writing, cartooning?
Well, that depends on my mood. There is no fixed program that in the morning I write and in the afternoon I paint. It's not like that. If I have the mood for painting, I just paint, and I paint continuously whole day. In the night I'm thinking about my paintings. In the morning when I get up, the paintings are with me. So it moves like that. Now when I'm in the mood of writing, if I get an idea to write a novel, say a novel, so what I do, I just sit down continuously for 3-4 days and finish up the novel, a rough draft, complete draft, whether it may be in 50 pages or 100 pages. So once I have this draft, then I can work leisurely over that. So that is the way I work out my novels. And cartooning, you see, whenever I have some extra time, I just work out my cartoons, and like that my time is structured, but I'm always free. Whenever friends come, I just close down my work and ready to chit chat.
So then painting is at the very center of your life, isn't it?
Right, true. Yes. So I am trying my best to focus on it, but sometimes I feel it very hard. So I'm still struggling to come up as a painter, and there are many factors working behind this. Factors in the sense that when I accept it as a poor salesmanship You see, in this days, painter has to be a very good salesman beside a good painter. If these two qualities are combined, he is a success. If he lacks in salesmanship, he just remains unknown or in a corner.
But there is a parallel problem also, more important in terms of the growth of the artist, and that is honest self-assessment. How do you assess your own work, Aabid?
Well, how could I? What's my work? If I try to judge myself, I could be very partial, subjective, you see. Now it's, for others to judge what it is.